What's up, guys? People keep asking me to do more survival and preparedness videos, so prepping videos, and I'm into that kind of stuff, especially after what happened here in western North Carolina, Tennessee, in the mountains, and starting number one, before you start preparing, you need to figure it out. Is your location safe? So before you even become the idea of preparedness, you want to really land yourself somewhere where there's not super populated, not prone to flooding, not prone to forest fire. How often does the drought happens? With the drought we have forest fires. And also you want to be off highways. So the location is number one. Location is the most important. So you buy yourself a house and start from there. You connect to the grid because it's the cheapest. You want to build up to it. We can't just jump straight into it off-grid living. It is very expensive. So there is certain things we would have to sacrifice. Like I don't need lights and the studio lights and a lot of things that, like certain light bulbs, and maybe I don't need 2 refrigerators during the survival situation of grid living during the grid outage for like a month, 2 months, a year, forever. So we have to think of, okay, financial is number 2 pretty much. Yeah, location number 1. Now that we have a house, we picked a place, we want to be prepped financially for at least 6 months. Right now people off job for going to be off work for a couple months. This area going to get hit economically bad because people who could leave left, and people who has money who were doing like maybe rebuilding a house or building a house paused everything and left. Also a lot of the malls become this like a stationary for FEMA and military, or like showers and stuff like that. So any parking lot, malls been shut down. Schools, same thing. Anywhere they can use a big parking lot for like FEMA and all the military stuff, they're using it. So we off work for like 2-3 weeks. Same thing, internet too. I had no communication. That's all in considering into financials. That SpaceX satellite costs $500 plus $140 a month. Do I want to be always on SpaceX, or do I want to be wire and also have SpaceX? So number 2, we want to really be financially independent. Like we want to, not independent, but we want to be like very smart with our finances to where we can live cut off of the world and still bills come and we can meet bills for 6 months. That will also alleviate the pressure of the society, because we can take off and kind of rebuild, pay bills and not lose anything. So that's like a number 2, very important. Before we become really purpose, we want to be financially stable. That is the most important that nobody talks about in preparedness, short term preparedness. After hurricane, after like floods, forest fires, we want to get out sometimes, we want to evacuate. What if an entire house that we preparing gets burned out, washed out? So we like bought all this preparedness stuff and it's all burnt or like washed away. Then what? We are financially like ruined and we don't have anything, even though we survived. And let's say it's a short-term problem, we'll have to go for assistance with the government. And yeah, living in an apartment in one of those pods, it will be not fun. So if you financially prepared, build up those credit cards, pay them off instantly, pay for your loan, but also have the payments for 6 months. If car's washed away, you have savings, you don't have to pay for the house anymore, like because it's got washed away. Fight with the insurance, get the grants from the FEMA, whatever help that you can get. But till then, maybe you can rent a place for 6 months to a year and get a job or continue the job you're doing. So number 2, big one, financial. And even if nothing happens, we can just throw all our money into ammo, you know what I mean, or crossbows and toys that we might never use, or a bunch of generators that we don't start and don't maintain, and then it's like we are struggling financially. So yeah, location, financial. Number 3, what is the most important is water. How long can we survive without water? Let me know in comments below. I forgot to be exact. I guess it's different to everybody. Water source we need to have a well. And I'll go back to number 2. Now that we have, and 1, we have a good location where we want to have our system set up, like our house set up. And the well costs about, depends on location, around where I am, $6,000 to $20,000, and we could drill it. Sometimes you're not gonna get water, so it's get courses. So number 2 will be financially prepared to do this kind of things, because if we're in a city right now going on that people do not have any water for like a month now, and they're taking showers with like neighbors, or like those portable showers at YMCA maybe, with like, you know, it's not the same as at home shower, and just day-to-day items has been disrupted. I have a well, but also if we cannot afford a well, we will need 1 liter per day for 360 day per person. So if it by yourself, 360 liters in your house for a year. Or also the water stays good only like for what, like 6 months, 2 years, I think it's couple years, and it's bad. So there's other certain aluminum cans survival water that lasts 30 years. That's a good option in case well goes down and things like that. Also we need water to flush toilets, so we'll have to go outside. So surviving in a city, or like being prepared in a city, would be very difficult. Although we can still be prepared with food and water at least for a month, there's a different scenario. But I'm talking about the best way is to get out of the city and be really a prepper. That's the prepping I'm talking about, like little homestead type of style. The city prepping is totally different, urban, like whatever it's called. That's different scenario. We maybe touch on it. I don't know much about it. I'm more of the off-grid type of stuff on a bunch of land. I have 70 acres, so you want to get a lot of land. Again, as much land as you can. It's all financial. Number 2 is most important. How much can you afford? Because we also will need a well or 2, and one needs to be electric, the other one needs to be pumped. If we can afford it, we can get a bunch of water for 360 days, but the well would be the best. Now, if you're in the city, you can drill them, obviously, because it has to be like inspected, not under a sewage or anything like that. So number 3 is energy, because the well have to run on energy. Unfortunately, I have the pump, and I have 700 feet well, lots of water. They'll never run out, but it has to be connected to the grid, so I need more money to kind of have another switch to plug it into the generator. And there's 2 type of generator: gas, propane, dual generator, field generators, or solar generators. Short term, I prefer gas generator. Long term, I prefer solar generator, because we can't get the gasoline anymore in case it's a total grid down, or like nationwide. We need solar panels, solar generators. And again, I would be picky. I can only afford solar generator, plug in my maybe refrigerator in case I hunt, and put it in a freezer, like a small box freezer for like $250. I would like that to be plugged into the solar panels, generators, and maybe it could be small portable generators with the unfolding solar panels, or it could be more expensive big solar panels. I can't afford that for the big of a house, so I'm only sticking with the boxes of solar panels and folding solar panels. It's a lot cheaper for me right now. So again, going back to number 2, financial must be met 6 months ahead before we could savings, before we have extra money to buy all these things. So because off-grid still is a lot cheaper. I mean, on-grid is a lot cheaper. Once we become off-grid, it gets really expensive. We're paying for all this stuff ourselves, for all this awesome amenities for like being off-grid. It is incredibly expensive. Like whatever on-grid is actually very cheap, and we can pay a little bit at the time instead of installing all that stuff and slowly paying off, which is never will. So also at the same time, we still talk about energy. My filtration system is huge. Let me show it to you real quick. I've been talking about it for a minute, but it's also have to be connected to the water. So all this filtration system also I need salt, which is kind of running out. Pressure tank needs to be connected. The light bulb, I need multiple ones because all those need to be serviced every year, once a year. So I have to have enough of the equipment and like refillers to refill those filtration system each year, and I need to have a knowledge to do it myself. Right now I'm letting my company do it, who installed it. That's a $10,000 filtration system. It's the best of the best because I wanted a good water drink out of the sink, and it's from the well. But every time they're out here, I want to learn how to do it, and I got all the manuals out here in case we need to do it, we can figure it out. So I need to stock up on all of the like filters, replacement stuff. I need to stock up on salt for a year. The general term, we want everything a year worth of supply in case we need to be hide out, things will go back to normal, we can get out and start working, you know, because we're not going to be going out there and splitting firewood during the crisis. Number 4 is the medicine and hospitals. They get overrun. My local hospital does not have water in the hospital, so it's overrun, and they have to take patients to a different location 5 hours away. So we don't want to right now jumping around and chopping firewood and chopping trees and injuring themselves and going to a hospital, straining the system even more. Let those trees lay. It will be time for it to do. Obviously we want to cut down all those trees to get out of the house, short term. Long term it doesn't matter. So energy, very big one. We want to like be on a budget, of course, which most important things that we need to do. And as you can see, it's all kind of tied in together. A geolocation where we want to be that is safe without any mudslides or anything like that, because everything get lost. Then what we talked about, financials probably should be number 1, so because we have to buy land. Then we talked about water. Then we talked about hospitals, and then food. We can have survival food, and the survival food is super easy and not super expensive. I mean, it gets expensive. Like I did a few barrels of rice, and it was like $1,400 with the freeze dried. No, not freeze dried. It was vacuum sealed with the oxygen bag inside of them, professionally made inside barrels. I have like 900 pounds of it, of rice and beans. It'll last me for a long time. And I have like a camping food freeze dried also with meat and everything. And I have milk, and I have butter, freeze dried butter, whatever it's called. So the food is super easy, but all that need water. So that's why it's a kind of like lower level for that stuff. But at some point in a year, we do want to start farming. At the end of the day, real preparedness of great things is food is kind of like part of the society. Short term, we wouldn't have to worry about it at all. Even a month. There was no food around here for like 2 weeks. We couldn't get a lot of dry food, so we didn't have to tap into our food, survival prepping food. We could just still get a lot of dry food, but we couldn't get meat, we couldn't get milk. All that stuff went bad because nobody had power a long radius of miles away. So there's took a while to get this stuff, and especially our local grocery store warehouse, the distribution center got flooded bad, so a lot of stuff lost and went bad after a few days without power. I don't think they even still have power. So like other Publix and Whole Foods actually getting meat a lot faster than my local store. But yeah, we want to have seeds. We want to prepare with seeds because food farming is preparedness. We want to have a piece of land with that to start growing food in a long-term scenario. But yeah, this is some of the things. Is it 5? Let's be done with that. This is 5 most important, because like health, I was talking about healthcare. In one of them, we want to be stuck on medicine, make sure that we have enough medicine, antibiotics, all the cough syrups for kids, Tylenols, all that stuff. Again, goes back to number 1 or 2, financials. How much money do we have before savings? How much can we invest into all that stuff? Survival kits, all that stuff. It's limitless. Like prepping is limitless, because the point of this preparing is not to survive. The moral of the idea of the entire preparedness and survivalism is not to survive. It's actually to thrive. We want to be prep as much as we can, so we're not suffering. And so that way we are so prepared that we can actually go out and help other people and build the community back up in a long term, and even in a short term as well. So this is what kind of preparedness is all about. If you prepared, or more so, like even with the chainsaws, if you know how to use them, because everybody going out there cutting trees getting injured because they have no idea how to use it. Chainsaws have sold out instantly, generators have sold out. So anytime we have 1 or 2 generators, that's great. Sorry, camera died, I had to replace it. We also want to have like a reason for the, and a really good plan for any dollar invested into preparedness, because the biggest mistake I had during this big collapse, like one of them was communication, and this is number 6. Communication is so important, and being connected to the entire global information network is so important. And we were cut off. We had no idea what's going on, and the radio was the only way to listen to the things. And I heard a lot of ham radio people were using it, so that'd be cool too. So, but again, if just buying a ham radio and not knowing how to use it, it's really pointless. Same thing buying chainsaws and buying crossbows and not really using them, because we do want to farm and gather. That's all, like in the food section. We could farm, hunt as well. This is open, season is open right now for deer hunting. We have licenses, we have like it's all land. Boom, we want to have like certain amount of crossbows, certain amount of arrows and tip points. But again, goes back to like finances. We don't want to buy anything extra before savings of 6 months, because it's just part of prepping. So overall, there's a lot of ways to go, and if we buy all those crossbows, we actually need to learn how to hunt. The same thing is like should be like on the top of the list is your health. We want to be physically strong. We want to be we don't need oxygen to just walk around. We want to be fit to get out and work, and so that's one of them as well. So it's entire kind of like lifestyle of preparedness. This is why most people opt out from it, because just buying stuff and buying into idea is not what you want to do. Because once it actually happens, it's nice to have all those things, but it's still kind of unprepared, in a sense of like we have the generator, we have all these things, but they were not really planned for all this of great things. So I need to connect certain things that I need vital for my life. Next time there's a snowstorm, we have power outage during cold, I need firewood, so buy firewood, a year worth of supplies of firewood to keep my house warm, shut off the plumbing so it doesn't bust or like freeze my pipes, but I'll stay warm over there. In the main area I have a really big fireplace. So just lots of little things, and it's all like financial, and like anytime we invest in something, you really want to make sure that it's very important to have, because it is so expensive, and just buying stuff just because like it feels good and I'm a prepper without really putting too much thought into it will be kind of waste of money, where each dollar is like really matters in that case because it's so expensive. So anyways, this is going to be introduction of this video real quickly, but we're going to dissect each little section at the time. Maybe not so much financial because it makes sense, but the picking the location, geolocation that is safe, and picking like generators that I wanna have, solar generators, and converting my well into like off-grid, on-grid anytime I want to, and certain things, and maybe even converting my house into off-grid, on-grid solar panels. I don't know how much I could afford it, but we'll be doing it. Maybe not every video because it's just expensive and time consuming. You gotta get people, professionals, to come and help you install all this stuff, electricians, and pull permits and whatever that needs to be done. But yeah, it's going to be ongoing, like serious, but it's not going to be that easy because we will have to think very hard before we're going to just do something. So hopefully guys going to enjoy it. Hopefully you enjoy this video. We touched on only on 7 things, 6-7 things, and list only goes on with all the amenities. It wouldn't be easy, but you know what, when the things happens, we will be prepared, so we will be thriving, not surviving. You know, that's the whole point of it. Anyways, thank you for watching. See you next time.